Two. All right, we are live on DentonRadio.com with the Denton Record Chronicles one and only, the Oracle of Sports, Brett Vito. How are you today?
Oh, pretty good. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah. Now, if you're just now tuning in, we do this every Monday at 2 o'clock. We may be talking local business. Maybe we're talking local events. And today we are talking local sports, all things Denton sports. So, Brett, fill us in on what's been going on.
Well, I think the biggest story of the last, week or so was the surprising retirement of one of the all-time greats to go through North Texas. Kind of a sad story. Zach Orr, he played for North Texas during the era when North Texas went to the Hard Dallas Bowl back in 2013. He retired. Zach was a great story when he was at North Texas. He was a really good get as far as coming to North Texas in the first place. He was a highly recruited player. Came to North Texas, had a terrific career, was a 3-year starter, was all conferences last couple of years here, and then he made the NFL as an undrafted free agent, played for the Baltimore Ravens. Really rose to prominence with the Ravens and started this last year, and then suddenly, out of nowhere, the Ravens and Zach announced that he was having to retire due to a congenital neck condition, which was really a surprise considering he played 4 years in high school, 4 years in college, 3 years in the NFL, had a minor neck injury, a bulging disc. They went in there and looked at it, and when they did, they discovered that the top of his spine had never quite developed properly as he was growing up, and he survived all those years of football playing with a spine that wasn't properly formed. Made it all the way through, and at that point, when they looked at how the condition of his neck, he could not pass the test to be medically fit to play in the NFL and was forced to retire. So really sad story, terrific guy. And what made it even worse was he was playing some of his best ball. He was second team All-Pro this year, had a terrific season, and he was about ready to get paid.
Yeah.
Big time. He was about ready to get paid a lot of money because he was up. He played 3 years in the NFL, so he was up for his contract to be renewed because rookie contracts, I believe, are 3 years. I'm almost positive on that. And he made about $1.8 million in the course of his career in those 3 years with the Ravens, but he was about ready to get paid. At least I think it was 2.8, and if the Ravens would have signed him into a contract, a long-term contract, which looked like it was a pretty good possibility, could have been for millions and millions of dollars. So unfortunately, Zach Orr's career kind of came to an end in kind of tragic and unexpected fashion this week, which was the big story as far as local sports went.
Yeah. Well, Zach, we appreciate you repping us here in Denton and North Texas and all of that. But man, what a shame. That's glad he's doing good though. I mean, now as far as health is concerned. But
yeah, it'll be fine going forward. And he gave some extended interviews to the guys from immediately from those writers that he's been dealing with for the last few years up there, and plus with the Ravens, there was a video on the Ravens side about him and retiring and all that. And there's been some things written that he was thinking of going into foundation work, maybe going into coaching. His dad played for the Redskins and then went into coaching down in the Dallas area. I think I forget which high school he's at, but I think he's still coaching down in the area. Both of his brothers are still playing too. Cool. One's playing at Wisconsin, one's playing at TCU. So the word is maybe he gets into coaching. I wouldn't be surprised to see him show up on the high school level in Dallas, or, maybe he gets into college coaching. It'd just be interesting to see what Zach decides to do from here on out.
Cool. Well, Zach, we'll be watching with anticipation, man. Thanks you again.
Yeah, and I guess the other big story, at least in college sports goes, is, North Texas is kind of getting into the heart of the conference season in men's and women's basketball. It's been a struggle for the UNT men this year. They've lost 8 straight and are sitting at 0-7 in conference play now after losing the other day to Louisiana Tech. They were down 3 at half, and then they ended up getting blown out in the second half, lost that game by a pretty lopsided margin. So they're down to – they're 6-13 and 0-7 and have lost 8 straight. The UNT women lost to Louisiana Tech at home the other night, and they're down to 6-12 and 6-12 overall, but they're 3-4. So it'll be interesting to see if they can bounce back. They're on the road this week. North Texas, both the men and women play Charlotte on Thursday. The guys are at home on Thursday, and the women are out at Charlotte. So that'll be interesting to see if they can bounce back. Because UNT men, they need to finish in the top 12 in the 14-team league, and right now they're the 14th team, they're the only winless team in the league left, so they're looking to bounce back here to see if they can possibly squeak into the conference tournament at the end of the year.
Hey, nowhere but up. That's
yeah. Yeah, it can't get any worse at this point. They've lost 8 in a row, so that's been kind of a struggle for them. And the other thing that's interesting, and this extends into the high school realm too, is National Signing Day is almost here. It's right around the corner. We're looking at, today's the 23rd. Signing Day this year, as people who are sports fans know this, but signing day is always the first Wednesday in February. Well, it just so happens this year Wednesday falls, the first Wednesday is February 1st, so it's going to get here a little bit earlier than normal this year. But we'll see all the top kids from town will sign their letters of intent. There's a couple that are going to there's one that's Ernest Brown's going to Northwestern from Denton Ryan. There's some other players from Geyer and various schools in the area, in Denton and in the general vicinity that'll be signing their letters of intent. And then, of course, this will be Seth Luttrell's second recruiting class at North Texas, so there's a lot of interest to see if he'll, considering they went to a bowl game last year for the first time since 13, been a while. So it'll be interesting to see if they can make that pay off in terms of landing a really good class on signing day. So that's coming up here pretty quick.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, if you haven't gotten your tickets to go check out all the basketball, make sure you do so because that's always a really, really fun time.
Yeah, college basketball is great. That's one of my favorite times of year, college basketball in general. So it should be good. And the UNT women are looking like they may, they'll have a better season they had last year. They only won 5 conference games last year altogether. Now they're sitting at 3-4. Granted, they lost their last one, which was kind of hard. Louisiana Tech's another program that's kind of in a rebuilding phase, but they're making some significant progress. It looks like they'll probably, if things continue the way they're going, they'll probably win more conference games than they did last year and take a step in the right direction. And we'll just have to see if the UNT men can kind of pull out of the tail slide here.
Cool. All right. Well, we are getting to the end of the segment here. Brett, you got anything else you'd like to add?
No, I mean, just be on the lookout for National Signing Day, and we'll continue to update how North Texas is doing and who's coming to visit and what kids are committed and where everybody else is going on meangreenblog.dentonrc.com. And, of course, we'll have our regular high school and college coverage, on dentonrc.com throughout the week.
Perfect. Like you said, all of it is in the Denton Record Chronicle as well as dentonrc.com. Make sure you can go even deeper into those stories. You can even come here now to the Discover Denton Welcome Center and get you a copy of the paper. And we will see you guys next week at 2 o'clock right here on dentonradio.com. Thanks again for coming in, Brad. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, guys.